Whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place, listen to us as we give no fuck on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yucks, trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are two of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers they pluck. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Adam Heath Avitable.
This is the DKS Podcast, a podcast about love, sex, culture, and society. This week, we'll be talking about the impact of the Barbie movie. Enjoy the show.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, now's the time to like, enable notifications, and turn on all the things. Leave a comment, whatever you want to do. Just watch the whole episode and enjoy.
And we are back from our little summer break that we took and didn't want to take, but took anyways.
Our little summer break.
My summer break.
You jaunted off to the summer home in Maine for a little bit.
You know how we do.
Yes, we're back, and we had people ask. I had people ask, where's the episode? And I was like, we'll be back in 2 weeks. We deserve a summer break occasionally too.
Sometimes we typically take breaks in June or July, just depending.
Yeah, then and also in the winter. Unlike my other podcast where I'm taking an entire year break. Apparently, I have not done an episode since Angel. So I'm going to get back to it after I move somewhere, and then I'll eventually do it. But right now, I'm just not in the mood.
Nice plug, yeah.
Yes, exactly. I know. But now, we're here. You are back in Washington. I am in Memphis, Tennessee.
Ooh.
Which is a very smart decision to visit a place like Memphis in the hottest time of year.
I told you should have just stayed in the Pacific Northwest, but you didn't want to listen.
I should have. It's just I couldn't afford it. I don't know how anybody does. It's so expensive there. So
you waiting for me to say something about how every city is expensive nowadays? Actually,
I'd say a lot of them are, but yes. And no, I have places to be. I couldn't just stay there, unfortunately.
So where are you going next? What's your plan?
Well, I'm in Memphis for another 2 weeks. I'm here staying at a friend's house, which is cool. She lives in the historic district of Memphis, and her house is like 150 years old or something like that. And so, which is cool, but also not great because it means the AC unit doesn't work, or the AC doesn't work very well.
Oh, God.
So
cool, but not.
I have fans here and stuff too. And also she's not hot blooded like I am. She's we went to high school together, but she's originally from
Florida.
Yeah. She's from Florida. And then from there, her family came over from Pakistan. And so like the hot weather to them is just like nothing. Like she likes to sit outside and like talk on her phone. I'm like, what are you doing? It's insane. It's 94 degrees out, And so when I've been here, she gave me control over the air conditioning. She's like, listen, you can control the temperature you want. So the upstairs and downstairs are different thermostats. So upstairs, when I go to bed, I would just turn it down to like 70. And
that's reasonable.
That's reasonable, but she was keeping it at like 78. So it's been it's like just a little warm. But no, it's been nice. I've been staying here. We've had the last week was great because her kids, she has two teenage children, and they were with their father for a week. And so she and I were going out, I would say almost every night, except I couldn't keep up every night. Like she's doing crazier than I am. Like she's kind of newly divorced, whereas I remember when I got divorced back in 2010. That's what it was. And I was kind of going out all the time, and she would judge me so harshly. She was happily married and had, younger kids, and was just like, what type of life is that? And now she's newly divorced, and
I get it.
Going out and she's staying out to like literally like I went out with her a couple nights, and I actually left at like 1 a.m. I was like, hey, you look like you're having fun. I'm done for the night. I took an Uber back, and then like at like 6 a.m. I hear her come in. So like
6 a.m.
So I am judging. I'm making fun of her so much for having it's been a great time. And so it's been fun. It's been fun to go out and just like kind of like, because we never got to do that because we were in high school, and when we were in high school, we weren't partiers, not like that. And then we kind of fell out of touch until like a few years later, and then got back in touch, and she was already married and I was already married. And, so now it's actually kind of fun to have like just a friend to go out and drink with, and then kind of like, we're at that same level. So that's been interesting. I've been seeing a lot of the different bars in Memphis that I wouldn't have otherwise seen. Saw a cool drag show / burlesque show here that was a lot of fun, and she's been good at dragging me out and being like, hey, we're going out, like, put on some pants, we're leaving the house, and so that's been nice. So yeah, so that's it's been cool. Memphis has been very, very cool so far. Now that her kids are back in the house, it's feeling a little cramped, not because it's a big house, and it's not even really like, it's not the kids' fault. It's just now that there's 4 people and I'm sleeping in our son's room, and now our son is like sleeping in, like, they don't have like an extra room, and so he's like sleeping downstairs in the living room, and I feel bad. So I'm moving over to a hotel at the end of this week, just to kind of give them space.
You want more
everything.
space.
Yeah, and give me space and everything like that. But it's been great. And then where am I going from here? I am going to Nashville, Tennessee. Oh yes, Nashville. Without you there, but I'll be there
Have
anyways.
fun.
Yep. Be there for a couple nights, and then I'm heading to Knoxville to visit with a friend for a week, and then up to Lexington, Kentucky, where I'll be meeting with visiting with good old Dirty Dancing, codename Dirty Dancing, for a couple of days, and that'll be fun.
Who's married, right?
Who's married and lives now on a place that she has like cats and pigs and goats and an emu and all those things. And she invited me to come stay. She's like, we have like a little apartment you can stay in if you want. And I was like, oh yeah, what else do you do? Like, it's a basement apartment. And she goes, yeah. I said, what else is in the basement? She goes, well, I also I have a boarding company, so I board like a kennel company, so I board like 15 dogs too. I was like, in the basement, right? So it's like in the same area. Yeah, I said, I think I'll pass. That does not sound like fun.
That's a pass. Yeah.
That's a pass. Very nice of her to offer, but no, thank you. But so I'm going to stay in Lexington, and then from Lexington, almost back to Florida. I'm going to Charlotte for a week, and then heading down to Florida for a month and a half.
So have you decided what's after Florida, where you're moving to?
I have. And I will tell you that after, and I know I've talked about it briefly on here, but like, if you were to say, like, if I would have just taken even 2 years ago, maybe even a year ago, and been like, hey, Adam, where in the country do you think you might end up living? Like pick all these places after having traveled around and all this stuff. I never would have picked this place. I never would have put this as even in the top probably 50 locations that I would suggest living. Wouldn't you say? I mean, you know me pretty well. Like, it's not really, doesn't really have any of the things that I like. It's not in the mountains. It's not in the water. It's not, it's not all these things.
I was convinced North Carolina or somewhere by Seattle. Like, you had kind of convinced me you were going to move to the Pacific Northwest. And I was like, this is going to be so great.
Yeah, I know. Like in Seattle, like that area was beautiful. Like, I could totally see living up in that area. And yeah, North Carolina area. But no, I am going to be moving to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah,
but that's still exciting. It is so
exciting.
Cool.
It's exciting, the idea to be settling somewhere. My goal is to move there in the winter, so that I'll be starting the new year there, probably right before the holidays. And I'm doing it to for a couple of reasons. Number one, there's a program called Tulsa Remote, tulsaremote.com, where you can apply, and people who work from home are encouraged to apply, because Tulsa is looking to try to bring in new people that aren't going to take jobs from residents, but they want people who are going to spend money there and pay taxes there. And they will actually, if they accept you, they will pay you $10,000 to move to the area, which is, the program that you found originally like 3 years ago, I think, maybe, right? When
I wanted to leave Nashville before Roy and I moved in together in Nashville.
Yeah. So then you applied and you got accepted, and then decided that you guys were going to go to Washington. But for a minute there, it was like kind of on your radar, because I mean, free 10 grand is hard to pass up too.
Even just for a year to try it out to see if you like it, and then go somewhere else after.
Exactly. So I've, I got accepted in the program, and I thought about it, and I have a friend who lives there, who I know from Florida. And so I decided that's why I spent a week there on my way back east. And over that week, spent a lot of time looking at apartments and looking at places. And now I've been in that weird spot where I think I've talked to you about this as well, where I'm trying to figure out, where do I want to live? And like, I have this idea that living downtown is going to be fantastic, that it's going to be really nice to have a downtown apartment that's, be able to walk downstairs and have, bars and restaurants all within a block, and, and everything's easy to get to that you want to do, basically. But then I also look at, living out in the suburb type areas that are still, it's still close to everything, but it's also right next to a, like a sports bar type place, not like a downtown bar, like an ale house type place, like it's and they have a giant, and I can get a place that's huge for the money as well. I could rent a fucking 4-bedroom house almost for what I want to spend, and just to for myself. And so I've been really kind of wrestling with that. I'm trying to figure that out. It's been hard. What do you think?
Is it hard?
I mean, it is.
You've always lived in the suburbs.
I know.
You've never had an opportunity where someone's literally paying you to move. Why not try something different? You're already doing something different.
Yeah, I know.
Try downtown.
So that is...
Now, I will say living downtown does have its cons. It's probably going to be noisier. If they have events downtown, you trying to get into your place could be a pain in the ass. That's every once in a while, and hopefully you know ahead of time. But I don't know. Walkability is a really cool thing. And that's kind of been our joke this whole summer is as Adam travels, he's like, and I'm in a walkable area, but what does walkable mean to Adam versus me? So,
yes, exactly. Walkable is a block to me. Like if it's more than a block, it's not fucking walkable. I'm sorry. But like
a block.
Some people are like, well, it was because where was I? In Bend, where they
Bend,
this Airbnb is very walkable and like it's to everything. And she's like, yeah, down the street 1.5 miles away, blah blah. I'm like, that's not fucking walkable.
A 5 to 10 minute walk is walkable.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But
5 minutes? Come on, 5 fucking minutes and it's not walkable? That's absurd.
5 minutes is maybe the extent of what I would consider walkable.
Well, then you need to live downtown and not rely on a car and just I think downtown is the way to go. I think there are nice places downtown. You'll feel more part of the community. You'll be closer to the other events that they're going to host for the Tulsa Remote program. I say do that.
Right. And yeah, I don't mind the sounds, the noise of the city has never bothered me. I mean, that's fine. When I'm going to go to sleep, I'm going to go to sleep, and whatever. Like, so like those things don't really bug me. And yes, the if they do have an event, things might shut down a little bit, but like if you're already there and you're already downtown, you can still walk around or whatever.
Right.
So that's fine. And it is it's the comfort idea. It's the comfort idea of, having like, I don't know, being in an apartment downtown versus being somewhere where I know it's a suburb and not necessarily safer.
The fuck do you need 4 bedrooms? The fuck do you need 4 bedrooms for just
I don't have anything to decorate. I don't even have anything to.
That's what I'm saying. With what sofa?
Right
with
now,
what mattress?
I have no bed. I have no mat. I have nothing.
A 1 or 2 bedroom for an office would be great. You don't need a house for that. You don't have an animal. You don't need a yard.
Yeah,
downtown is my vote.
Yeah, no, I know, and I think I think that's true. It's just I feel like at the comfort zone, I keep going back to that. So I'm trying to get used to the idea of like, downtown. Well, living downtown can be nice, and since
you're not married, you're single, you don't have anything you're tied to. Why not be that cool guy who lives downtown? I don't know. And then, I mean, speaking from experience here, living downtown, it's easier to meet up with people on dates because you don't have to worry about driving somewhere if you're going to go out and drink. You can just walk back to your place so it feels better, and then that might lead to bringing more people back to your place.
I mean, that's
something you both want to do. Yeah. So there's opportunities there that might not present itself if you were living in the suburbs.
Yeah, that's a good point. Although I will say that the strip club that I found that I can see myself going to is about 12 to 15 minutes away by car. So,
well, typically they don't have in nice suburbs with schools and everything. They typically don't have strip clubs there.
That's true.
And they're not right downtown.
Yes, but it was a cool bar. It was a cool place that I found. Yeah, you're right. You're right, and I think that's.
I know I am.
Yeah, you are. So I'm gonna do it. Yeah, so for a year at least, I'll see how it is about downtown, and then from there, we'll see. But so I don't know. Tulsa, it'll be interesting. I mean, I do say all I really need is literally, like good dive bar to go to, and and good internet, and I can survive. So, and some of these complexes are really nice. Like they have pools and grilling areas and like
that you're never going to use, but it's nice to have.
That's true. But I would like to. The pool is one thing I would like to use. Like I enjoy using a pool, and so that's something I'm never going to use the fitness center. That's for damn sure. But like the pool at least.
Is it walkable?
I mean, it's it's elevatorable. So So yeah, so that's my plan. Gonna be going to Tulsa. If you live in Tulsa or have recommendations for me about Tulsa, please feel free to let me know. I'd be happy to hear them. If you live in Tulsa and you have furniture that you're trying to get rid of, let me know that too, because I will soon be in need of furniture starting November. So yeah, I'm gonna have to be on the hunt for that type of thing.
Have fun with that.
I know
Moving is a joy.
Well, yeah, I'm not looking like the moving. The nice thing is because I don't have a lot of heavy stuff, so it'll be pretty simple to move what I own now. It'll be getting new stuff that'll be the kind of the pain in the ass that I'm gonna have to try to figure out what I'm gonna do. But that's all right. $10,000 buys the help of moving people. I think in that case too, if I need to. So
it's an adventure, and I'm excited for you.
Yes.
TBD on everything else.
Yes, we'll see what happens. So what's been going on with you? I know when we last spoke, you were about to head to Maine to Roy's family's cabin. Now, last time it was a disaster. And
disaster, I think, is a harsh word, but sure, you can use that word because you're you.
I think we should call it a disaster. The last time was disastrous. You were upset. You guys got into fights. You were angry at everything.
I was annoyed. Okay. Let me recap here. I was annoyed. I was frustrated. I felt stuck in a cabin for an entire week, and I did not like that. I had the expectation that I was going to get out and see things, and we did see things together as a group, but I thought it was going to be here. One day we do this, one day we do this, and we're like, go, go, go. The cabin is the cabin. You hang out on the lake, you read a book, you chill. Maybe in the afternoon, you go to a lobster shack, and then in the evening for dinner, you might go into town that's 10 minutes away. It's a slower pace, and that's not something I was really prepared for going in. I think Roy had told me, there's not a lot to do. There's not internet. There's not this. It's not that. And mentally, I was like, fine. I can adapt. I think the older I get now, I know you're probably not going to like this, or you need to really prepare, or it's going to be bad. So this go around, because I already had that previous experience, I knew what to expect. So
you did know what to expect, but then you made all these plans to make it better, and then they all fell through.
Well, so like his sister and his sister's boyfriend, we were going to get another Airbnb somewhere, so it wouldn't be, the 6 of us in this cabin. And it's not like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath cabin. It's 2-bath, 2-bed, and then a loft that opens up into the main area. So like the couple upstairs, it's hard to fuck up there, basically. So you really don't want to be there. You really don't want to be in the loft, because it's like you're just exposed up there. So Roy and I were hoping for the bedroom, and then his sister ended up not going, and then obviously then her boyfriend's not going either. So it was just the 4 of us. So it was his dad and stepmom, and then Roy and myself in the cabin. So 4 people, even though I really missed the company of the others, 4 people made it more manageable, actually.
Well, that's good. That's good.
So I didn't feel like we were all cramped in this little space. I had some room to breathe. And then on top of that, I already knew what to expect. So we went out onto the lake. We did more chill things, and I wasn't like gunning to be like, oh, I need to spend a day in Portland. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do that. I just kind of went with the flow, and I literally went in with no expectations. So it's actually a lot better than round 1. And even Roy had said, he's like, you seem different on this trip. I'm like, yeah, because I don't have like a list of all these places I want to hit or whatever. I'm just kind of whatever the group wants to do, I'll do, and be very mellow about it. So it was a good trip.
Well, that's good. That's good. And
not typically how I travel, though. Normally I have a list of things I want to do and places I want to see and things I want to eat. And this was, I guess we could do that. That's whatever the group wants. The first time around, I was like arguing with his stepmom and just being like, well, I want to do this, so I need the car. Like I was being a little bitchier, where this time around I was just, I don't care, do whatever. So
did I remember correctly that last time you also got into a little bit of a kerfuffle about like either playing a board game or sports or something?
It was a board game. Yeah. Because it was like the first time being with them without it being a formal event like Thanksgiving or Christmas or a birthday or something. So it was being with them 24/7 for 7 days. So they got to see another side of me, and I curse a lot. That's not new news to anyone who listens, but for parents, where I typically am on my P's and Q's trying to be the good girlfriend to their son or whatever the fuck, I did not contain myself, I guess. And the first go around, we were playing a game and I got mad at Roy because he was fucking being annoying. And I was like, you fucking liar. Oh my God. And you're just like yelling. And not that, and so I felt bad and ashamed of my actions and thought like I put a bad light on myself that first go around. And then this trip, they really like to play a lot of word games and things like that. And
Right.
I don't mind games, but I have a limit. I can play for about 30 minutes to an hour and then I'm fucking done. I don't want to play anymore. I'm not interested. Roy's super smart and really great at word games. So we're sitting around the table playing all these games and I'm getting my ass beat. Like I am dead. We were playing Boggle. I'm sure you've played Boggle.
Of course
No?
I have. Yes.
That was my first time ever playing. I just don't play I don't play Scrabble. I don't play any of those games. Roy's getting 50 points around and I'm getting fucking 7 points. And his parents like, don't worry, it'll get better the more you play. And it was actually, I was getting progressively fucking worse. I think my first time was 11 and then it was 7 and then I was 6 and it was just rough. And after we played a couple rounds, I turned around, I'm like, I'm going to go to bed. And he's like, but it's kind of early. I'm like, I don't want to fucking play this anymore. And I'm not going to be mean. So you guys can play with just 3. It won't, hope I don't hurt your feelings.
That's fantastic, actually.
But just knowing my limits now, especially being around his family and just it's okay to excuse yourself when you feel uncomfortable and you just say, oh, this isn't my vibe anymore. I've enjoyed my time, but this is it.
That's true. No, that's very true. You remind me of my dad too. Like whenever we would play Scrabble or whatever, just one of the things, my dad would be there and he'd be like, oh, I guess I'll play with you guys. And even though my mother and I would just obliterate him. And then every now and then he would win because she and I would be playing against each other and really aggressively trying to like take each other down. And
you forget about him and
essentially, yeah, he would manage to get all the stuff that we were trying to block each other from, all the high point value things. And yeah, so basically you're like my dad.
Yeah, but I've never been a game person. Roy knows that, his family knows that, but I've just learned more on this trip just to excuse myself, be more low key, just kind of keep it to myself. There were no issues, but just, if when I wasn't feeling in it, I would just, I'm going to sit over here and read or eat food.
Well,
those are my go-tos.
So they provided you with plenty of bags of shredded cheese, so you had something to eat.
We had a lot of pimento cheese, and which it was perfect.
Perfect. Well, good, you survived. And now you're back. And you have any trips coming up again?
Of course I do. Do you know me?
Know.
Yeah. So we're going on another family trip with Roy's mom and stepdad. So the other half of the family, but they're coming out here. So we're going to go to, I want to say Tahoma, because that's like what we call the Mount Rainier. We're going to go out to Mount Rainier and hang out there for a couple of days and then go to Astoria, Oregon for a couple of days. So I'm going to kick it on the tail end of the weekend trip so I don't have to take.
So I saw Mount Rainier from when we were staying at the Graduate, right? You could see it was Rainier. How far away is that?
It's like 2 hours.
It's that far away
to get, because there's only one road in and out. So, and it's very windy to get into the park. So it takes a minute.
Are you guys doing camping? Like tent camping?
No, they have an Airbnb.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
Yeah. But they want to do a lot of, another thing now that I've kind of established what I want to do and not do, they know that I enjoy a degree of hiking. But everyone else in the family, I mean, Roy's stepdad works at REI. His sister, like all of his family is very active and very into hiking.
Right.
And when I think Florida girl here who then lived in Tennessee where things still weren't as intense, I was like, oh my God, I love hiking. It's so great, whatever. But moving out here, Roy's like, you don't like hiking at all. You just like being outside. And I think, accurate. I like being outside and taking a little bit of a nature walk, but I really don't want to get super sweaty. I don't want to be dying, hiking for 6 hours somewhere. I think the volcano hike really humbled me in that not my thing. I'll do an hour hike, but I need to know going in to set expectations. So anyways, his family was like, well, Sarah can join us at certain parts when we're not out hiking since she doesn't like that. So being accepted for who I am is such a good thing.
Well, that's nice. That's good. And you know, it is funny because like if obviously compared to me, you love hiking. Like, you know, you absolutely
There's
fucking love
levels,
it.
right?
Yes. But also, I mean, I remember some of the things you did even like prior to Roy, some of the walks and some of the places you went, and those were some major, it felt like major hiking that you did.
I mean, yeah, I
So,
hiked Sedona. I did 2 major
yeah.
hikes in Sedona by myself, but I don't. It's that I don't go as fast as his group, so I'm the laggard behind. It's not that I can't
Okay.
do it. It's that I go a lot slower. So it really fucking pisses me off when he keeps looking behind. And I then I'm gonna rant. I fucking hate when we're walking, Roy and I are walking on the side of the street, and his legs aren't that much longer, but it's like, why the fuck are you speed walking? Just I'm trying to walk and just enjoy at a leisurely pace. And why can't he just walk right next to me? Why does he always have to be 10 steps fucking ahead of me? And that's how he is on trails too. And he like looks back and he's like, "You're fine, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine, except for if a fucking bear gets me from back here because you can't save me." But I don't want to be the loser trailing behind.
Right,
So
right.
then I just don't. Part of it's like I just don't want to do it then, and
Sure,
I don't want to
sure.
do the very hard hikes either. So then I kind of am not doing them at
Yeah, I
all.
mean, you know, I fully support no hiking, so what can I say? Um,
It's not like I can't do it. It's just, circumstances.
so that's another family trip, but do you have any of you like a Sarah trip coming up?
Of course, I'm going to Santa Fe, New Mexico in October for a
Okay.
week, so that'll be fun. I'm planning a trip to South Africa. Hopefully, the pieces aligned for that before the end of the year. So, my plan is now that I live in Seattle, rainy season starts in November and then ends around April. So, my key time to travel is from November to April and then like leave space for holidays and my birthday. So, I want to do a trip at the end of the year and then I want to do something early winter, probably like February, March when it's pretty rainy and gross here as well.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
It's funny you
Always
say that.
something.
I was just thinking, like, I was like, oh god, it's gonna be so miserable moving into Tulsa, like moving into an apartment in the middle of downtown and the heat when I moved there because of how hot it was when I was just there. But then I'm realizing I'm gonna be there in November. It's gonna be cold. Like it's gonna be plenty cold enough that it'll be fine. But my brain keeps thinking that it's gonna be like it was 102 or whatever when I was there in July, which is why I went in July, by the way, to see if I could handle it in the summer. Then I can figure I can handle it anytime. But yeah.
If you lived in Florida, you can handle Tulsa, right?
Probably, especially because I feel like more places in Tulsa have air conditioning than like in like places like where you live, where these just random people are crazy don't have air conditioning. I understand
That's
it.
just the area out here. We don't have air conditioning in this house. This
Insanity.
3-bedroom, 2-bath house.
I
No
know.
AC.
It's insane.
Anyways,
So, all right. Well, that's good. Well, let's I want to encourage once again we have encouraged people to call in with any questions they might have. We actually have a few to do. So if you did call and you left a voicemail or you sent us an email, it's in our queue. We've got it. But we would love for you to call and leave a voicemail at 407-519-0181. And we'd love to hear from you if you have any questions about anything related to anything or like travel,
life.
relationships, life. Exactly. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and take a listener question that was emailed to us. So this came through email from Sophia, and I'll go ahead and read this, and then we'll get into it. So this is from Sophia. This isn't about a dating relationship. It's actually about a family relationship. I figured you two may be able to help since you are both travel people. I'm 24, female, and I have 3 older siblings, 2 brothers, and 1 sister. My siblings and I have always been very close, but recently they have been on a travel kick. One brother spent 3 months backpacking across Europe. My sister spends every summer exploring a different Caribbean island. And my other brother moved to Hong Kong to be with his girlfriend. The 3 of them want to plan a siblings trip where we all spend a month going to each other's favorite cities. Money is no problem because our parents left us a big inheritance when they passed. However, I am terrified of travel. I'm a homebody. I'm happy to stay in my little bubble with my condo, my pets, my hobbies, and my work. I've set up a life that I feel safe in, so I don't want to leave it for a month to go on some terrifying trek across the globe. When I was a toddler, I had a stroke, and so now I walk with a limp, have a slight speech impediment, and my face is uneven. People often react badly to me, and it's scary to navigate unfamiliar places because I can't walk as easily and have a hard time asking for help and being understood. The prospect of traveling abroad gives me anxiety, and I can't get my siblings to understand that travel isn't as easy for me as it is for them. They assume that because I have part of the summer off work, I'm a repair tech for a school district, that I'm free to tag along with them. They don't understand my situation, and it's just that I'm using my disability as an excuse. Am I really missing something by staying in my happy little bubble? Am I just being a coward, or are they being unreasonable? Do you have any ideas how we can compromise?
I think your fears are valid. It is hard to try something new, to go outside of your comfort zone, and even just considering it is a big step. Um, my my thoughts on travel in general: start small. 1 month traveling favorite countries around the globe, that's a big ask for anybody,
Yeah.
let alone like with your fears and anxieties. So my recommendation is do a trip, but make it be a 4-day trip to a city that's not far from where you live, or within the state that you live, something small within the US or wherever that's close that you feel comfortable exploring. And same with your siblings. I personally think it would be a little unrealistic for them to ask, go to let's go to Sri Lanka for a month. It's like, okay, but why? For why? So start small.
Right.
Yeah. And I will say too, of all the money I've spent on travel, even the travel experiences that were not the greatest, that I'm like, didn't really love that location, didn't have the best time, whatever, I've never regretted any of the money that I've spent on any trip, because it's taught me something new about myself, and I learned more about a culture or just the situation in general. So I do think it is worth it. But start small.
Well, so what I would say is first of all, you know, everybody has different things they enjoy doing. And so if travel is what your siblings really enjoy, that's great. If it's not something that's for you, it's not always for somebody. Maybe, there's things that you'd rather spend your money on. You have your pets and you have your hobbies, and that's fine too. And I don't know what it's like to have to travel with a disability, but I can imagine that it has to be difficult. I will say that I don't know if people often react badly to you, or if maybe you're self-conscious about how they react to you. It could be that they just, they're reacting differently to you, but it feels bad. And so that, I feel like that's something you need to work on, just, for yourself, just to, to know that, you are still valid and worthy of being treated normal, regardless. But I do know that traveling as someone who's traveling as a fat guy, like that's no fun for me. Like I'm not flying around everywhere because it's very rarely comfortable to fly. And if something goes wrong and there's an inconvenience, it's not as easy for me to just go buy some new clothes somewhere. Like I have to buy big and tall clothes. And so like things like that make it less exciting for me to travel. Like, and if I am going to travel, I'm going to make sure all my bases are covered, and I'm going to make sure that everything is going to be exactly how I want it, down to the detail. Because if it's not, then I'm not going. So I can understand that aspect of it, and it can be scary to navigate unfamiliar places. And I think what Sarah said is a good point: is to start small. Maybe try taking a trip just to the next town over, or taking a trip to the next state over, or something like that. Do some small things, or even if it's just maybe a part of the city that you're not comfortable, that you've never been to. Go there and try to learn how to navigate and things like that, and see if that helps. And if it really doesn't, then tell your brothers and sisters to shut the fuck up. Honestly, like it just, honestly, it's okay for you to tell them, hey, listen, go have your fun. It's not my thing. Stop pressuring me. This is not what I want. And just be a little aggressive with them, because I feel like they're kind of treating you maybe with a little bit less respect than they would, because they love doing this. And they can't put themselves in your shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
That's what I would say. And the fact that they're saying that you're using your disability as an excuse, I feel is just sounds a little bit lack empathy for me. And so I would definitely talk to them about that, and don't be afraid to be blunt with them about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be afraid to hurt their feelings and stand your ground. And you don't have, yes, I would recommend trying something outside of your comfort zone, but at the end of the day, if you don't want to do something, you don't have to do it either.
Right.
And if they don't respect where you're coming from, then maybe you don't want to travel with them either. I've had really great friends that I've traveled with that we're no longer friends anymore because the trip was a fucking disaster. So there's no guarantee that even when you travel with your family that it's going to be a good time, because you're around the things you like about them and the things you don't like about them.
Well, and they might make it more stressful, it sounds like, a little in some ways, because they're going to be so comfortable traveling, but they're not going to consider that you
True.
might have issues, and they might try to push you when you're not ready to go places or do things. And so, yeah, I would really take that carefully, and maybe, like I said, try start small on your own, and then see if maybe you build up the ability to want to, if you decide you want to. But in the end, if you don't, it's okay. You're perfectly fine. You're not going to miss out on something if it's something that's going to give you anxiety and make it a worse experience for you. Then that's not a positive experience to miss out on.
It's okay that travel might not be your thing. And I think if you were to decide to start small and you hated it, well, there's your answer. That's not something you're interested in. So I just
Exactly.
kind of go give it a shot, but don't go, 3,000 miles away from home to give it your first shot.
Right. So thank you so much, Sophia. And if you have a question you want to have us answer, go ahead and email us. You can email us at datingkindofsuckspodcast@gmail.com. And we've got a few emails and a few voicemails in queue. You can leave us a voicemail as well by dialing. And this means you can pause the episode right now while you're listening and call this
Dial
number right
on
now.
your phone.
That's right.
Dialing.
Dial.
Press the buttons on your phone.
It's called dialing. What do you call it? Of course, it's called dialing.
I just don't say dial the number. That just seems like old school landline phone connected to the wall with the cord.
With your rotary. Yeah, just the one, two. Yeah, no, just. But go ahead and call us right now at 407-519-0181. And if you can't remember this number because you are listening to the episode, we always have the number in the show notes, and you can actually just tap it, I think. Does that work better for you, Sarah? You can just tap it, and it might just let you call the number directly from the show notes. So we'd love to have more voicemails and emails. So please feel free to do that as many times as you want with any type of question.
And with that, we're going to be back with what to see with Adam Heath on Dating Kinda Sucks, because Adam's been doing some more traveling and he's got some exciting stuff to share.
Well, like Sarah said, this episode, this segment is going to be what to see with Adam Heath. It's not going to be about Sarah visiting anywhere. It's about me visiting Denver, and more specifically, the Origin Westminster. As most of you know, I've been mostly nomadic for the last few years, traveling around the U.S. and staying in Airbnbs and visiting friends and staying in hotels. And Airbnbs can be fun for long-term stays, but sometimes the rules and quirks can affect your ability to have a good time and enjoy yourself. And staying with friends is great until they ask you to please put some pants on.
Is that why you're really leaving? Is that why you're leaving them?
Pretty much it. And so I found myself spending more and more time in hotels, and Colorado was no different. Stopping in Westminster, Colorado after 2 days of driving east, 2 rough days too, I'll say that. I was so excited to pull into the Origin Westminster, which is a Wyndham hotel inspired by the Rocky Mountain lifestyle. I had a week to enjoy this boutique hotel's benefits and perks, and I made the most of it in my own inimitable way. Like, I didn't make the most of it like Sarah would have, but I made the most of it like I would.
And that's okay. You know your limits. You know what you like and don't like to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Westminster is part of Denver, just far enough outside the city that it has easy access to Boulder, as well as many of the nature adventure type of activities that people love. I mean,
not you, people,
right? Yeah. Those other people. Like, I'm not somebody who rides a bike, for example, but I was probably 17 the last time I rode one. And I know they say you never forget, it's but 30 years is a long time I can't imagine ever getting on another bike again. But anyways, I love that the Origin, they had a complimentary bike rental program. So just for free, they would just give you a bike to ride around.
I love that.
And this area, we were joking earlier about things being walkable. This area was very bikeable. There's a ton of bike lanes and a ton of bike paths that have maps and everything all set up so you can bike all around the entire area. And so lots of people riding bikes everywhere. Every time I stepped outside, it almost made me feel bad the time that I drove literally around the corner to get a McFlurry.
Adam.
Which is nice that the fast food restaurants are also close by. People might consider them bikeable or walkable even, but not me. They were drivable, drive-throughable. So the Origin also had a full, really nice, high-level fitness center too. That was really great. That I waved at as I walked by, and I knew I would never enter, but it sure looked nice. I will say that. Now, what was nice, so in addition to everything else, was the room, and this is what it's important to me is the place I'm going to be sleeping and spending most of my time. And nice is not a strong enough word. It was fantastic. It was nice. The bed was so comfortable, and there was a ceiling fan, which I never see hotel rooms with ceiling fans, and I absolutely love just that circulating air helps me sleep. Just cyclonic wind coming down on you, so I can keep the room nice and cold. And I just sleep so much better. So I slept like just like the dead every night. And then the morning light coming in from these giant windows that overlook the mountains was fantastic. We didn't do any hiking at all or any type of nature activities, but I had a hawk that was hanging out outside my window one morning. So basically, nature comes to you sometimes. So you don't have to actually go out and find it. You know, you can still be lazy and see nature. It was great. Now I spent most of my week actually working. So I was in the hotel room for most of during the day. And I love the desk setup there. So many times I've found, and this has been staying in hotels all across the country, the desk is either an afterthought or it was like designed by somebody who has no hips and one arm, and they've never actually had to sit in a chair for more than like 2 hours at a time. You know, like it's never comfortable, and it's always like it's not ergonomic. It's the whatever the opposite of ergonomic is, like extranomic. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it's the opposite of that. Like it makes you in pain just from sitting there for longer. This actually was a perfect, nice ergonomic desk setup with a good chair, and I could sit there and work all day without ever feeling cramped or at all like just uncomfortable. And then I was able to actually even tilt. They have a giant flat screen in the room. I was able to tilt it towards me too, so I could watch TV while I worked, which is that type of good distraction that you call like multitasking or ADHD,
working,
whatever, or working, quote unquote working. And then in the decor and the decorations and the decor in the room and the furniture in the room all had like, it felt unique. It felt kind of it was just creative. There was like a baby blue little fridge that was nice, and like it had it had a nice touch to it. Nothing felt as generic. Like hotels tend to have a generic feel, and nothing felt generic, which I liked. And then the shower was something that I was hoping was going to be good, because I'd had a few nights of terrible showers. Like one hotel that I actually refused to even step into the shower because it was it was horrible. That was
too small experience. Or
no, it was terrifying just to look in the bathroom. I didn't even step in the bathroom the entire night I was there. That was the hotel that was an awful experience. I'm not going to name the hotel, but anyways, I was so excited to like have a nice hotel, and the shower was incredible. Like the water pressure was like just blew me off my feet. The hot water was great. It was fantastic, and it was a great way to start every morning with just like stepping into a waterfall essentially. So the room was great. The Origin also has a nice bar and restaurant called Familial. That is like French inspired food. I ate there a few times. First morning I was there, I had room service, and I'd ordered up the pork belly eggs Benedict with a side of bacon, of course. Of course. And it was like delicious. And like I've never had eggs Benedict where you didn't have to ask for more hollandaise sauce, but they had the perfect amount of hollandaise sauce, which is, as someone who likes to put extra sauces on everything, like I travel with mayonnaise, as everybody knows. It was nice not to have to add mayo to it, like because it had enough hollandaise. And then we had a meetup in the restaurant while I was there with some friends and listeners, and the restaurant set aside a little table for us, and we had a bunch of their cocktails. There was one called the Downtown Cosmo that seemed to be a favorite among everyone there. They kept reordering that one. I had vodka Red Bull for the most part, but I tried other drinks. They all tasted delicious. And then I had seared scallops that night, and I love a good seared scallop. And it was incredible. Like it was just, I don't know, they were cooked perfectly. And then we had a great time, and it was just like, it was so fun sitting around. The staff was great taking care of us as we just kind of shared stories for hours, and we were probably loud and obnoxious by the end of the night because we'd all had quite a few of those drinks. Yes. Yeah. And then my last morning there, I went to the bar in the restaurant and had pancakes and a side of bacon, and that's where I demonstrated to the entire everyone who was there my pancake hole technique, which everybody is always disgusted by, but it is
SMH. Yeah,
it is the best way to eat pancakes, where you just dig a kind of hole in the middle of the pancake, you fill that hole like your stack of pancakes, you cut a hole all the way down, and then like extract your little middle hole, and then you fill it with syrup all the way up to the top, and then you just eat from the inside out. And so it's like that way all the syrup gets absorbed into the pancakes, not spilling all over the place. It's a really efficient use of syrup, and you get more syrup and pancake per bite. It works out better. It looks terrible and it looks horrifying by the end. It just looks like a torn out asshole or something, but like it's really it's a good style. So I demonstrated that pancake hole technique, and they were really good pancakes, I'll have to say. And the bacon, of course, is fantastic. What else besides the restaurant? The Origin is attached to the Tattered Cover, which is a great little indie bookstore cafe. I didn't go in there too much because if I walk into a bookstore, I want to buy everything, and I'm trying not to have any material possessions right now until I move somewhere, which I will be, obviously soon. But I would love to go back in there, and I could literally just see so many, they had lots of cool books that you wouldn't see everywhere, and a lot of, since it's indie, they had a lot of just older books, which I love too. And then across the street was fantastic. It was an Alamo Drafthouse Cinema, which if you've never been to an Alamo Drafthouse, you should always go there. It's a fantastic movie experience, especially if you're a movie lover, where they will kick people out for being on their phones. Like if you're on your phone, they will literally kick you out of the fucking theater. Yeah, it's fantastic. And then they have they have little things where you sit in your table and it's actually service. They don't have a concession stand, so everything's table service. So you down and they bring you your soda, they bring you everything, and you have a little button you push if you decide you want refills, and it has a little tiny red light that's really impossible to see when you're watching a movie, but the servers can see it, so they can come over and see you, and it doesn't affect anybody's vision or anything like that. So it's really like I said, for the movie lover, if I could live in a movie theater, that's the one I would choose to live in. So that was my time there. The staff was wonderful. Huge shout outs to the management of Familial for their assistance in setting up my get together. And actually the host, they're the manager of the hospitality manager for actually setting us up with a free drink too, which was nice. Origin management for their hospitality during my entire stay. I spent one night, I was drunk and I was spending an hour in the lobby waiting for my Uber Eats to come. And it took like an hour and a half, and I had to sit there in the lobby. And I was chatting with the staff member who was there, and she was really friendly, and you could tell she was perfectly engaged talking to me. She didn't really have a lot of work to do at that moment, but if she had been busy, the lobby was really comfortable. I could just chill here. I mean, I probably would have fallen asleep, and they would have had to wake me up and tell me to go to my room. But it was that comfortable. It was really great. So I really recommend staying at the Origin Westminster the next time you're in Denver. Just it's Origin Westminster. We'll put the link in the show notes, and check out their other hotels. They have one in Austin, Red Rocks, and Lexington, Kentucky, and they have new ones coming to Atlanta, Baton Rouge, and Kansas City. I'll actually be staying at the Lexington, Kentucky Origin Hotel in a couple of weeks when I'm in Lexington, and so I'll have to report back and see how my stay is there.
How the pancakes are,
the quality of the bacon, right? Pancake holes, all of those things. Let everybody
know. The hawk just lands by your window.
See what type of exactly, exactly. All the important things that people want to know about.
It sounds nice. I've never been to Denver, so never been to Colorado.
I really feel like Colorado is a place that you would absolutely love to. Maybe not Denver itself, but right outside the area, where all the normal person hiking, which is what I consider your type of hiking, is. I feel like you would like that, and the biking. I could see you.
That's really cool that they offer free bikes.
Yeah, well, that was pretty neat. Yeah. So
great.
That's what to see in Denver and at the Origin Westminster with Adam Heath Avitable.
Pancake holes and more.
So we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we will get into the Barbie movie. So come on, Barbie, let's go party. So this probably should go without saying, but if you have not yet seen the Barbie movie and you are planning on seeing it, you might want to watch it after this. We don't really know what spoilers we're going to talk about, but we are going to talk about the movie without worrying about spoilers. So if you're someone who's like, I don't want to be spoiled, then you might want to save this for after you see the movie. But otherwise, let's go ahead and get into the Barbie movie.
Okay. So many thoughts, so much to share.
Let's start about why we're talking about it on this. As not a movie review podcast, why we're talking about this.
I don't watch movies, number one, but I really wanted to see this one because I grew up playing with Barbies. I love Barbie. Just Barbie in general, I thought would be a really cool, something new, not some sequel of another action movie or whatever. This was a new, brand new concept and idea from, a toy that was interesting to watch. I think the movie in general brought up, number one, no one knew what the movie was really going to be about. All of the marketing clips were just showing Barbie Land and Barbie doing things, but there wasn't a huge plot besides she goes into the real world and something, there was no, some people on Fox before the movie came out were saying, oh, well, Barbie is a lesbian and she's in love with America Ferrera's character. Like that was something that I heard that people were like, oh, I'm not going to like the Barbie movie because Barbie's going to be a lesbian. And I was like, I don't even what like even if that's the case, okay, cool. Like I'm still going to see the movie. I don't fucking care. It's Barbie. But I think the second it started talking about patriarchy and started to show the difference between men and women, I was like, oh, people are going to have a fucking problem with this if they walked into it thinking this is just going to be a fun, lighthearted, empty your brain for 2 hours movie that's not going to make you feel or anything. And low key, I was kind of walking into the Barbie movie like that. You know, like I should have known better with who's the director of the movie. And Roy was like, why didn't you do your research on Greta before going to the theaters? I'm like, I don't know. I just kind of wanted to go in with no expectations, just besides it's just Barbie. So going in like, oh, I'm going to wear pink and oh, I'm going to be all girly or whatever. Not that those things didn't exist, but I walked away with it from the movie going, I don't know how I feel right now. Like this is not what I expected, but not in like a bad way that I hated it, but I need time to process this because there was a lot. It was a lot deeper than what I went into expecting.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, when I saw the commercial, the little preview they had, which was making fun of the beginning of I think it's 2001, A Space Odyssey, which is when the giant obelisk and then the monkeys all start like pounding against it and everything like that, pounding their chests and everything like that. And when it started with it and it showed the Barbie and all the girls started smashing their dolls and like in a very dark way, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a dark movie. Like this I can already tell just from this little clip that it's gonna be subversive, which I did not expect, and I'm totally here for that. And then to see that one of the, and since you don't really pay attention to these things, but like one of the writers is like Noah Baumbach, who is like he just writes stuff that's tends to be a little bit darker, a little bit. I mean, he does more adult related things. So I was like, this is not going to be your typical like lighthearted movie. And so I was excited to see it because I had no idea beyond that what it was going to be about. Like I was like, I like the idea of a subversive Barbie movie. Like that just sounds incredible to me. And so going in, I had no real expectations other than everybody who watched it said that it matched up to the hype basically. And so when it started and then I realized like just the perfect world, and then how they were just like, well, this is what we've done to the real world. Like we've been an inspiration to the real world and we've made the real world so much better. And then knowing that she was going to be crossing over, just like, I feel like I was dying laughing at so many lines that sometimes the audience wasn't always along for, because I feel like it's a hard movie to market. And so people went in there with different expectations. Like there were kids there. Like, why were there kids in this movie?
That was so I saw it while I was in Maine because we had a rainy day. So we saw it the Friday that it opened. So I was like, I want to see it before spoilers happen. And then I also just want to experience it first. And the first 2 rows of this theater, which was a small theater, were all kids under the age of 10.
Yeah.
And this is going in knowing fucking nothing. I didn't realize it was PG-13.
Right.
I didn't think it was going to be rated R by any means, but I thought it was going to be like, not that PG-13 is surprising, but I wasn't thinking in that context of like, there will be adult content in this movie that might not be suitable for kids. Just, I don't have kids, not thinking about it. So there were parts in the movie where it's funny. It's a really good, funny movie. And it was uncomfortable because there were kids next to me saying, what does that mean? Could you explain that? Like asking their parents to explain the joke. And I could hear it when the theater got quiet, like, Mom, what is it? Whatever. And it made me feel uncomfortable because I was like, these kids should not be in here. And I know it's like not my responsibility to give a fuck. Like I should just focus on my own experience. And that's kind of like Roy and I had talked about that. That was kind of his stance of like, that's not my problem. Like they knew what they were getting into. But I don't know, for like the kids who weren't right on the cusp of like being old enough, but not yet. Like if they were 4 years old, all of the jokes are going over their head. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Whatever. They're just mesmerized by the look and feel of the movie. But the kids who are like closer to being 13, but not there yet, that don't understand some of these jokes, I felt a little uncomfortable in the theater. Maybe that's just a me problem, but I would have preferred, and I like watching movies at home. Sure. I want to watch it again, but in the comfort of my own home.
I don't think there was. I didn't feel like there was any jokes that were like sexual in nature to a degree that kids have to have it explained. They were just asking because everyone was laughing around them, like, because I know that there's been times that when I was younger, when I watched a movie, like the movie Airplane, for example, that I missed a bunch of jokes when I was a kid. And then watching as an adult, I was like, oh, like now I get it, like because it can be funny on multiple levels. And I feel like Barbie, even though it was PG-13, so it wasn't really designed for that younger group, still had enough for them so that they could laugh at it and they could enjoy it, and because there was enough like in the absurdity of like the Kens fighting and things like that, and all of that stuff that they can enjoy and go along with without it. So I never felt like there was anything that was like so inappropriate that a kid couldn't see it, but I could see why kids might not necessarily be able to appreciate it. And I knew that from the beginning. Like I just based on that one preview, I was like, oh, this is not a kids movie. Like this is not the animated Mattel Barbie movie that's directed to DVD or whatever, like this is an actual
like Swan Lake Barbie cartoon movie.
Right,
yeah,
exactly,
this is not that. Yeah,
exactly. And so, yeah, the kids that were in there, for the most part, I would say that they were, there, there was one baby in the place, but the baby was quiet after a little while when I was
cool
there.
baby.
And then the rest, but it was funny that some of the audience, I think, didn't realize that it was supposed to be a comedy at some times. And there were some lines. There was one line that just I don't even remember who says it now, about the Zack Snyder fan base, because there's this whole the Snyderverse fan base or something like that, like makes a joke about them, which anytime you spend on the internet, you hear about the Snyderverse and people like, getting mad at what's happening with DC Comics and like restore the Batman Snyder, like all this shit, just like, and those fanboys are some of the most toxic people on earth. Like they really are. Like they are just like, they like wish death upon James Gunn because he's not bringing, Henry Cavill back as Superman. And so hearing them make fun of them in this movie, like I just cracked up, and like I realized I was one of the only people laughing in the theater. I'm like, what am I missing? Like, how are these people not laughing at this? Like, I don't understand this, which is interesting. But I think that so many people by the end got the message and understood the message and appreciated the message.
Yeah, I think the message was clear. You and I had talked about this on the phone when you had finally seen it, and it was, the first week that it came out. And I was like, the scene where America Ferrera is telling Barbie what it's like to be a woman, I felt like it dragged on a little long. Like, okay, we get it. We get what it's like to be a woman, and you got to do this, but you can't do this. You got to do this. And you were like, no, I thought it was like the perfect length. I was like, that was the one thing. Maybe I just felt the awkwardness in the theater. I was like, it was just a little long for me. Like, I get it. I understand what patriarchy is, blah, blah, blah. But then after our conversation, I saw a TikTok and this woman was saying that scene was not for you. That scene was for Barbie. This is her first time encountering any of these ideals and being in this situation. So she doesn't understand what's happening. So that's why America Ferrera's character is explaining those things and talking. And now looking back, I don't think it was like overly long, like too long or like whatever. It was the right amount. But when I was in the theater, I was like, okay, I got it. I get what the patriarchy is. I understand the struggles of being a woman and whatever.
Well, and I think that because you're on TikTok and things too, and this is what we said, was that it does feel like something that I have seen on TikTok. I have seen a woman say those exact words. I feel like, and almost in that same order, it almost feels like it was taken from someone else's, conversation about that and just put into this movie. But what I think why I think it was important was that they don't assume that everybody's got that same level of awareness. And so for some women, and a lot of it is like when I make TikTok sometimes, and I will approach things in a different, I'll say, well, and I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but I'll say something like, XYZ, and I'll have women comment and say, I never thought about it in that way until you said that. Like until you said in that way, what examples, like when I talk about coercion being not the coercion is not consent, that if someone is begging you until you give in, you did not consent. And I like talk about that, and one will be like, I never saw that until like you went through why and you went through the details of it. And I could see that might be a lot of women and a lot of maybe younger girls too, who hear this and see this and are like, holy shit, like how they get to see how pervasive it really is. And they understand the hypocrisy of being of like what society expects from women. And maybe a few men will understand it too. And that's part of it too, is that I think it has to be that long and that hard hitting and that obvious to hammer it into the brains of men. And I think that that's really part of it too, is for a man who's watching the Barbie movie to maybe be like, oh, I never thought about it that way, like, and maybe her repeating the same concept but like in different ways like that actually will like sink in.
I'm seeing what's happening to Barbie Land right now. Interesting how the Kens are saying these things, and this is kind of resembling real life a little bit, and they're unhappy with it. That's kind of weird. And all the women in the theater are going, yep, we've done that, where a Ken is explaining how cool his fucking stupid movie is, and we're just like, tell me more about it. Let me pretend that I give a shit,
Right. Yeah. Well, exactly. And they play the same song and things like that. And it was a very good, I think, parody of kind of what a culture is like right now. And it's funny how mad it's making men.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I mean, Ben Shapiro did a 45-minute video talking about it, said that this movie was going to be out of theaters in 2 weeks and nobody would ever remember it. And by now, it's crossed $1 billion at the box office, making Greta Gerwig the first director to ever direct to have $1 billion movie, which is just incredible. And I think it's one of the first $1 billion non-franchises now too, like, which is just amazing.
Well, I think it touches on topics that men like Ben Shapiro are uncomfortable with, because they don't have a strong argument to stand on. Oh, this movie sucks. Okay, why? Well, it's not. And I've seen a couple people on TikTok say, well, it's not the Barbie that like we played with. And some like some preppy girls are saying like, this isn't my Barbie. My Barbie loves Ken. I'm like, okay, but like you missed the part of the movie where like that's America Ferrera's Barbie. Like she didn't play with Kens when she played with Barbie, which is why Barbie in the movie doesn't really care for Ken. But like things like that, we're like, well, you missed some of the plot. But the whole thing is like Barbie can do whatever Barbie wants to do. She accomplished all of these things. But even when the movie takes a turn and it starts focusing on the Kens, it's like all of her accomplishments are nothing compared to Ken all of a sudden. And I'm like, wow, fucking how it is in the real world, that women just get passed by on all these opportunities, or just shit happens to women because they don't have a penis, or like in the movie, Barbie was comfortable telling Ken no and asserting her boundaries and saying, oh, no, we're not doing that, Ken. Bye. Whatever. Right. She has never lived in the real world where there sometimes are repercussions for doing those things because men are shitty, and she didn't live in fear of what would happen if she said no. Just little things like that where it's like she just went through she is a woman, a powerful woman who has never had to face these hard things. And sorry, I did not get emotional watching the movie, but I think more after the fact and hearing more people talk about how great the movie was, I'm like, fuck, man, how long have I just like put myself in a fucking hole or a box and said like, I can only be this, right? Like growing up I don't want to like these things because people will think that I'm lame. For example, like I don't want to like One Direction or Taylor Swift or any of these things that are overtly girly because people will think I'm lame. So I have to be like more of a tomboy to make friends, to be the quote unquote cool girl. I can't just like the things that I want to like because it's me. Yeah. I have to mask them under something else to fit in. And it's like the Barbie movie kind of sheds light on, no, like you can be great doing the things that you want to do, and you should not let a man's opinion or his role in society change that about you. And yeah, it was just a very powerful message for a movie that I went in thinking, I'm just going to blow off steam for 2 hours and not think about anything ever.
What I found interesting too was that in the Barbie Land, when she says no, Ken doesn't push back. He says, okay. And, he's sad about it, but the Kens don't violate boundaries. Mm-hmm. They say, she said no. And also when the Barbies like when they get awards in Barbie Land and then they get things, they're always like, instead of saying like being like shy about it or demure about it, they're like, yes, I worked hard for this, I deserve this. And because they didn't have a bunch of men then calling them uptight whores or whatever, like just like
such a bitch for getting that accomplishment, or
you can't take a call, whatever. Exactly. Because they were getting things that were deserved without any transactional nature in it. And I think that was a big part of that too, because when in the real world, and there was a whole study where a woman walked through New York and she said, I know, to anyone who complimented, no, I'm sorry, confusing two things. This one was online. She said, I know, to anyone who complimented her. And it was always like, she posts a picture and someone's like, oh, you look beautiful. She goes, I know, thank you. And the number of people who immediately turn around, I was like, well, fuck you, bitch. Why are you so, like, and essentially because she dared to acknowledge it, showed that it was transactional. They were trying to like make her feel in debt to them by giving her a compliment. Whereas in Barbie Land, this was not a thing. They accepted that when they got an award or they got a compliment or they got something, it was because it was true. And that was the end of it. There weren't
people bashing them, tearing them down.
And there were no like weights tied to it or anything, like any type of any type of transactional nature tied to it. And I thought that was really interesting. And then and how that compares with the real world. And there's a lot of little subtle things like that too that I thought were really well done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think this movie, everyone wearing pink to the movies now. I don't know if that was
cute.
In
your... even Justin Trudeau and his son. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, the Prime Minister of Canada and his son went to the movies, and they had to post a picture that he was, and of course everyone, all the Republicans and all the conservative people were like, oh well, who knew he was gay? Blah blah. Like just, well, this is what a man is like now.
They're missing the fucking point though. Like it should be celebrated, and we should be embracing our joy of wearing pink is fun. Like I'm seeing so many women, and there's a movie theater not too far from my house. When I see people walking around in pink by my house, I'm like, great, they're gonna go see the Barbie movie, and they're so happy and they're so excited. And I'm like, that should be fucking life every day, where we wear the colors and the things we want to wear and be colorful and be happy about the things that we like. And I know I mentioned, I might have liked other things more. Like this summer really just feels like the summer for the girls. Taylor Swift is performing sold out shows night after night across the country. Everyone is excited, dressed up, empowered. It's mostly women going to see Taylor Swift perform. Girls are dressing up, going to the Barbie movie, wearing pink, being excited. And I just think like that in itself is like, I can't think of another time in my life where like women were we were celebrating ourselves and kind of encouraging each other to look how cute your outfit is. Oh my God. Hi, Barbie. Hi, this. Oh my God. I love your Taylor Swift outfit. Little things like that, where from men probably think it's fucking stupid. Like, and I've seen men on social media say like, oh, like, why do you have to wear pink to the movie? Or like, you don't even look that hot. Like, why did you dress up for this movie? No one can see you. And I'm like, that's not the fucking point. Why the fuck do you wear a stupid jersey of Tom Brady or whoever else, the fucking football, soccer, whatever sports team you like? Why do you wear their jersey on a Tuesday afternoon? Why are you obsessed over their thing? Like, can we just like what we like? And I think as women, we've just been put in this box of like, you can only like these certain things. They're only cool to a certain level. If you go past that, if you like things that are too much, too girly, too feminine, you're not a cool girl. And you're not a cool girl that's desirable by men, which is fucked. And America Ferrera, I don't know if you saw this interview or not, but she said in an interview that at a certain point in a girl's life, she has to put the toys down, such as her Barbies, and grow up in the real world and, learn, become a woman. But for boys, they don't ever have to do that. They can keep playing video games forever. And that's not questioned as if they're growing up or not. They're still growing up. Right. But why do we put so much weight on women of we have to stop things that used to bring us joy in order to grow up? And I thought that quote like really fucked me up. And I was like, oh my God, what are things in my past that I just put aside or thought were stupid or whatever, or childish, because I let society tell me they were childish, not because I actually thought that.
I mean, it's so true, and I love everything America for I feel like her entire career has been kind of about empowerment in different ways, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's fantastic. And it's very true. The other thing too is this reminded me a lot of, I know this is a superhero movie, but when Black Panther came out, because Black Panther was a
Mm-hmm.
movie that was written by people of color, directed by people of color, and it was even though it's for superhero fans, it was the first time you got to see like in mainstream media on this level, like a black superhero take like with such power, like so much, and there, and so I think that people would dressed up and they would go out and and people would like buy for underserved areas, people would like buy out whole theaters so that everybody could go see the movie for free, and it was an event, it was a thing. And the big thing about this, and of course this is also something that a bunch of fanboys complained about, and argued and had issues with, and the thing is because for once in a blue moon, a movie is not about straight white dudes, like, and for
Mm-hmm.
once it's not about you, it's about, this one's about women, this one's about people of color, about black superhero, this one. So and it's okay when things are not about you, but men are so used to everything being centered on them, every single thing being centered on them, white men especially, as the heroes and the villains and everything, that when something isn't, they don't have the capability to even just roll with it. Like they have to attack it.
Attack
It's
it.
the only thing they know how to do. And it's so telling that that's their response to a movie. It's a fucking movie.
Oh, well, the
And
movie wasn't good. Well, it didn't do well. Yeah, I just didn't get it. Like
well, yeah.
what?
Well, then it's not for you. It's like then shut the fuck up and go live your life. But like the need to attack it is so like telling, and it proves so many of the points within the movie at the same time too.
Yeah, I think I think it's gonna start a new trend in dating. I'm already seeing women on the internet just not taking shit from men more than I think they
Good.
were last summer, I would say.
Yeah.
But it's a good question of what did you think of the Barbie movie? Like put it in your bio, put it in a question on a dating app. What do you think of the Barbie movie? If they're like, oh, it wasn't good, I thought it was kind of shitty, I didn't get it. Well, I'm gonna match with you now. Like, what didn't you get?
Right.
What didn't you?
What is there?
What didn't?
I usually do a TikTok where people ask me like, here's 5 questions to ask to screen out a first date or whatever, and I think I might do a new one and include that as one of the questions though. Is tell me about the Barbie. Tell me what you thought about the Barbie movie.
Mm-hmm.
And just because that will tell you so much in their analysis of it, and everything.
My
And
other
then of
thing is
course
like
I've
they didn't
seen
play
women,
with Barbie. Like of
right?
course you're not going to like you might not like it as much as the girls and the women who grew up playing with Barbie, but I think if you walk away from it and you don't even have a single good like not
No,
one
I don't think you have to even play with Barbie to enjoy it. Like, I
right.
mean, the only thing I did with Barbies was I popped all their heads off and made a horror scene with all of their heads of my sisters. But beyond that, I mean, everyone played with whatever action figures, and it's like the same concept of having so like the initial conceit of America Ferrera's doll being in the and whatever, that all of us have, that all of us had the GI Joe or the Luke Skywalker or whatever that we did horrible things to, or that we played with when we were sad or whatever, like, so like that, if you can empathize with that, you don't have to actually have played with Barbies themselves to feel that. I think that part, it's just people they don't want to listen, they don't want to think about it.
It's too feminine.
Yeah,
Feminine things aren't cool. I don't get it.
basically.
Women just can't it goes back to like, can women even just exist?
Right.
Can we just like things that like the amount of influence that women have and our purchasing power? And it's so funny how people fucking forget. Yeah, no shit, we went to go see the movie. It was for us.
Yep.
Yeah, no shit. People went to go see Black Panther who are black and or African American. It was for them. It was duh. Just fucking duh. I don't understand. Sorry, we didn't do a superhero, another Superman fucking 5 or a Fast and Furious 12. We don't need another one of those movies. No offense if you like them, but like, let's do something different and let's focus on a different demographic to market a movie towards and see if, how it resonates.
Now the downfall is that we're going to see a bunch of places try to capitalize on this and they're going to do terrible jobs with it, and that'll be unfortunate. But the fact that it's an original story, and I think that it's very it's a movie that I definitely think is going to be the subject of a lot of conversations. And like you said, I mean, dating conversations should definitely involve it now. Like that's what makes this relevant, I think, too, is that you should be able to have someone in your life that you watch the movie with and can have a conversation about it in a critical way and discuss it with them, not trashing it. And if you don't, if somebody's just like, they think it's stupid and they won't even bother to even watch a movie with you or something like that, that's very telling in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, then you can also step away from just watching the movie and pull things from the movie. Like when you do things that you like, does your partner or the person you're dating shit on you for them?
Right.
For doing those things, or say, oh, that's not that cool. Like just let's take it one step further. How can you apply some of the things that the movie talks about into your own life besides just the movie itself? There are so many things. If you want to wear a certain outfit and they're like, I don't like the cut, if you're finally breaking out and you want to try wearing pink more, or try a hobby that might be a little more feminine than what you're used to doing, or whatever the case may be, and your partner's like, why do you got to do that? You were fine when you were like the sports girl or the whatever. And you're like, yeah, but this is like what I've always wanted to do. And they shit on you for it. Like you mentioned so many other times when your partner's like putting you down. It's like, okay, well then they're not the one for you. They shouldn't be in a relationship. If they can't celebrate the things that you like, why are you with them?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And you're not going to like everything your partner does, but still to be like, oh, that's your thing. That's cool.
It's not
I'm
a matter
glad you
of
like
liking, but it's also the matter that you want someone who's going to support you. You want someone who's going to be there for you and like you as a person. And enjoy the things, like, even if you don't have to have all the same interests, but you should have enough aligning interests that you get, that you don't have to like separate to go do things because he refuses to do things with you. Like if you have a boyfriend who refused to go see the movie with you in any capacity, even after, let's say you saw it and loved and asked him to go see it, and he's, like, that's a problem. And I really feel like that, like, because there's no good reason to be like, well, no, I'm not gonna go see that movie with you. Like there's no reason to be that like aggressive about it. And I think that there's so many, I don't know. But this movie is very polarizing, and I think that it's polarizing in a way that will benefit women, because you will be able to pick out red flags a lot easier now.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of, I was having a conversation with this guy. It wasn't like through our community of people that we know. We decided to meet up and go for a walk, and he was asking me what my hobbies were. And I said, like, I do this podcast on dating. He's like, oh, that's cool. And then I was like, yeah, I also take like Pilates classes, and I really enjoy doing that. And he said, which really did not click with me until after I saw the Barbie movie, he was like, oh, you're just like every other girl on the dating apps, like with your interests. He's like, everybody likes Pilates. And like, I didn't at the time, and this was a couple weeks ago, at the time, I was just like, okay, like the fuck, I would never insult a man and be like, oh, like every guy likes football, or oh, every guy likes to go to the gym and work out. I would never say that. But the audacity of fucking men to be like, oh, you're just like every other bitch. That's cool. Glad you like it, but like you're just like every other girl I see on Tinder. Like, how rude is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I didn't think it was rude.
Audacity,
I was like, oh, okay.
The sheer audacity.
Yeah, but like, and that the movie touches on that too. It's just like the audacity of Kens to do the things that they did because they felt big, bad, and powerful to do. And so it's like, let's stop taking this shit from men. Like, if you like doing something, if you want to do something, do it and feel empowered that you did it. And don't let a fucking man tell you you can't do it, or it's not cool, or you're just like every other fucking bitch. Like, right. Bitch, I don't, you're just like every other bitch, you basic ass Ken. That shit pisses me off, but I digress.
And I will say that, if there were more horses, I might like the patriarchy more. If it was more about horses.
The horses are really, yeah, they should run the world, not the men.
I loved at the end, though, that in Barbie Land, that they're like, can Kens have one place on the Supreme Court? And they're like, maybe we'll get you up to that, maybe we can work our way up to that. And it was funny that they're kind of evolving a little bit too into being something a little bit more where the Kens have some say, but let's not get crazy, because Kens just showed as soon as they got power they went insane. which I thought was interesting. Although I will say that the Kens, when they did get power too, they still like it was all nice guy power, like none of them became, which I'm glad. I think it would have been, it's good that they didn't do that, go too far with it. I feel like that it was good that the Kens
they were chill surfer dude, nice guy energy.
Mostly innocuous, all homoerotic, like basically should probably just bang each other, but haven't figured it out yet. They were at that level basically.
Yeah. Ugh, I want to watch it again. I need to watch it again. Yeah. Not feeling comfortable with the jokes because of children around, or not just take my head out of whatever other things made me feel like, oh, do I like this movie? Like, I think the message is strong, and I think it's going to be one of those movies that people look back on and go, let's have my 13-year-old. She's at the age, like, let's show her the Barbie movie.
I agree.
Time to learn.
Right. Yeah. No, that's actually very, very much a possibility. I think it could be something people are like, let's sit down, let's all watch it. It's time to, time for they should do in July now, and instead of 4th of July, let's get rid of 4th of July. Just everybody watch the Barbie movie instead. In fact, you could watch the Barbie movie and Oppenheimer together. Just make it a whole thing now, and just watch both movies together. Every Independence Day, and might be shine more light on what independence means with those two movies than with lighting off a bunch of fucking fireworks in the middle of the night.
So, do you have any other takeaways or things to add about the Barbie movie?
The only other takeaways I had was that I loved that Mattel let Barbie do let them do this with this movie, and that let them showcase some of the creepier, weirder things that they've come up with over the years.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I loved that Alan could kick the ass of like 10 Kens without even trying. Like he was just like beating all of them. I thought that was just absolutely fantastic and weirdly hilarious. But one of the best lines that I thought was when they enter the real world, and she says she immediately feels like just a sense of like violence. Like she just immediately feels it, and Ken just immediately feels like welcome and accepted, like everywhere. And I thought that was great. I read or saw an article with Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling where they said that was the last scene that they filmed, I think, was them in public in the real world, because everything they had done before that had been in studio. And so the last stuff they shot was them on the Venice boardwalk. And she said it was one of the most mortifying things they've ever done, because for the most part, they're just shooting in the real world. So that's not an crew there. Those aren't actors. Those are just people in public. And so they'd never actually appeared in public as Barbie and Ken. And she said it was definitely mortifying to try to do that. And I think Ryan Gosling said he'd shut most of it out of his brain by now. He'd forgotten. He purposely. I thought that was just entertaining. But yeah,
well, it's worth seeing if you haven't seen it already, and worth seeing a second time, like I'm going to do after
absolutely. And it's worth using as a green flag movie. Usually, I've talked a lot about red flag movies, and I think this is the first time that I would say this is a green flag movie. I think there are movies that if you like are kind of yellow flags, or not yellow flags, just like they're neutral. If you like it, great. But like I feel like this is a movie that if someone can actually enjoy it and tell you why, that it's a green flag.
I like that. Yeah. Use it in dating apps. Use it in try to apply some of the lessons in your daily life, and why let this summer just stop being like the girl summer? Like, let's just keep this energy going. I hope through Halloween it continues, where everyone dresses like Barbie, and
it continues. That's where I really want it. I hope through voting it continues.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Yeah.
And just remember, you are kenough.
You are kenough. Yeah. Solid. Well, if you have any thoughts on the Barbie movie, you could always email us at datingkindofsuckspodcast@gmail.com, and we can read your thoughts and feelings on air, or you can call the DKS hotline at 407-519-0181.
Yep. You can also watch us on YouTube at youtube.com/datingkindofsucks. Follow us on Instagram at datingkindofsucks. And of course, you can join our Facebook group and give us your thoughts on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/DKS Podcast.
And for as little as $5 a month, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/DKS Podcast. Each month we record a bonus episode, and we just kind of chat behind the scenes, and
just
for all of our members.
Yeah, 15-20 minutes sometimes, just just chatting about stuff. And of course, if you're on TikTok, you can follow us on TikTok at Adam Heath Avitable or at simply Sarah G _. And if you're listening to this on iTunes or Apple Podcasts and you have not yet given us a 5-star rating or review, we would really appreciate it if you would. That would be very helpful, because those have slowed down. I mean, we have hundreds of them, but like we want more. We
haven't
greedy.
had hundreds more.
Exactly. And with that, we will be back in 2 weeks with where am I going to be in 2 weeks? Hold on, I got to think about this for a second. I'll be in Knoxville, I think. Yes, I should be in Knoxville. So I'll be recording from the Origin Hotel in Knoxville at that point. But we'll be back in 2 weeks with a brand new episode, and so join us then.
Until next time.
Whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place, listen to us as we get no luck on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yuck, trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are two of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers they pluck. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.